Now at 6, we'll look at what caused thousands of cattle deaths in southwestern Kansas and why it isn't happening around here. Plus, details on a home explosion in St. Louis that killed 2 people, and why the governor of Kansas today stopped by Montgomery County.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
It's a scorcher out there and the heat is sticking around for a while. This is KOAM News at 6. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we've been into the 90s for highs for 6 of the past 7 days. So it's been hot, it's been humid. We've had plenty of sunshine across the region. Just nothing going on here due to a big dome of high pressure, which is in charge. And over the next week, this is going to stay in general in charge. We are going to see a few little changes that will get some scattered showers and thunderstorms in here. But it's a hot evening, so if you want to head outside, go ahead, do it. Just drink plenty of fluids. We're sitting mainly into lower 90s. You can factor in the humidity right now, and it makes it feel about 101 degrees. We'll drop back through the 90s, 80s, eventually mid 70s later on tonight. But we do have some rain chances. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
And the heat wave is taking a heavy toll on livestock. Officials in southwestern Kansas say at least 2,000 cattle have died in recent days from the extreme weather. The temperature is soaring more than 100 degrees. A warning, some of the video you're about to see might be disturbing to some. Michael George reports.
Graphic video posted on the internet shows hundreds of dead cattle. A feed yard consultant told CBS affiliate KWCH that the video was taken at a lot in southwest Kansas. He says many feed yards in the area have had cattle die from extreme heat.
Usually, these first weeks of June is when we really start to see these animals get hit with it.
Cattle industry officials say a brutal combination of soaring temperatures, high humidity, and little wind has been deadly.
What happened was the perfect storm is we had a rain event, actually several days of rain, created some high humidity in a typically very arid environment, followed by on Saturday we had some extreme temperatures that cattle were not acclimated to.
Many cattle had still not shed their winter coats when the heat wave struck. The sudden loss of so many cattle is an economic catastrophe for ranchers. Many were market-ready cattle, weighing well over 1,000 pounds. Forecasters say the worst may be over. Nighttime temperatures have been cooler, which allows the animals to recover. Michael George, CBS News.
Kansas Governor Laura Kelly has directed state agencies to do everything they can to help those who lost cattle. Temperatures in our area have also been high, of course, but cattle here are not dying. KOAM's Chris Warner explains why.
We spoke with Kaylee Johnson in the Producers Co-op in Girard. She told us that there's some misinformation floating around regarding the death of the cows in southwest Kansas. Kaylee pointed us to local ranchers Jeff and Heather Cleland. They both say they've heard some of the stranger stories being passed around.
One of the ones that I've read on the internet was somebody dropped some clover out and poisoned the cattle. Another one was a plain chemtrail.
The heat isn't just limited to southwest Kansas. All you have to do is step outside in the 4 states and know it's hot. So why haven't we had the same issues with cattle here? Jeff says feed yard operations are one factor.
Here in Crawford County, Lillooet County, this area, we don't have that type of operations. Most of our cattle are out on grass. They can get in ponds, under trees for shade. Out there, they're feed yards that may have 100,000 cattle in one location. Typically, they don't need shade. They don't need things like that because it's a different environment.
Jeff adds the heat is a key factor in what happened out west, but it goes beyond just the heat.
This was the first really big heat event out there, so the animals hadn't got a chance to acclimate. The 15th of August, when there's no humidity and the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour and it's been 100 degrees for 2 weeks, the animals are accustomed to it. The 10th of June, when it just rained and it's really the first hot week because we've had a fairly cool spring, that's what was the perfect storm to really to do what happened.
I'm Chris Warner for KOAM News.
Jeff says that high number of cattle deaths should not have an impact on beef supply. At least 2 people are dead. 4 others are in the hospital after a house explosion early this morning in St. Louis. The blast happened around 1:20 this morning, demolishing the home and blowing out some neighbors' windows. Authorities say one of the victims killed was a 17-year-old boy. 4 people injured were taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Authorities are still investigating the cause of the explosion, but say explosives used to make fireworks might be to blame.
I heard a distinct boom. We live 6/10 of a mile from here. I walk up my front door thinking that there was an accident in front of my house. Everything looked normal. About 3 or 4 minutes later, I seen the Spanish Lake Fire Department take off from the firehouse. I knew something was close and something bad happened. Looked out my front door and seen black smoke coming through the trees.
Investigators are also trying to figure out how many people were in the home at the time. They say the homeowner reported as many as 9 people were possibly there at the time of that blast. The Sarcoxie, Missouri Police Department is asking for help finding the people who stole these tractor implements. Authorities say the items worth more than $35,000 were found this morning on some abandoned railroad tracks between County Road 67 and North Moist Street in Reeds, Missouri. Police believe the thieves were using them to clear a path down the tracks for easier access. Kansas governor and lieutenant governor were in Montgomery County today for a groundbreaking ceremony that could be a boost for the area economy. That ceremony marked the beginning of work on a new $375 million soybean crushing facility. Bartlett Agri Enterprises will operate the facility located near Cherryvale. Also in Montgomery County, Governor Kelly took a tour of the brewery and attended the grand opening of the Office of Rural Prosperity and Independence. Coming up, going to learn about a partnership between an area college and business to offer apprenticeships. Plus, a look at some LGBTQ-friendly bars in the area and why those spaces are important. Crowder College today announced a partnership between a local business and high school. The college is working with Cooper Gear and Manufacturing out of Anderson, Missouri for an apprenticeship program. Cooper Gear and McDonald County High School already have an apprenticeship program in place. Well, now those students will be able to continue that hands-on learning experience and development of skills while in college at Crowder.
And by partnering with Crowder, they satisfy all of my apprenticeship classroom hour needs. In addition, those hours can count toward a degree as well as they come out with a certified CAD certificate.
Both Cooper Gear and Crowder College are registered Department of Labor apprenticeship programs. Cooper Gear has been registered since 2017 and Crowder College since 2015. June is Pride Month. It's a month that recognizes the 1969 Stonewall riots fighting for LGBTQ rights in the U.S. Well, now it's more widely celebrated as a month to highlight the LGBTQ community. Jomo Pride isn't until September, but many Joplin bars host LGBTQ-friendly events and shows year-round. Most recently, a new Joplin bar opened last month that aims to be a safe space anyone can go, no matter their race, gender, or sexuality.
Anybody who feels different, transgender, gay, straight, mixed blood American, immigrant, we all feel odd. It doesn't matter. We're full on accepting. I mean, I will hug anybody.
Tonight at 10, we're going to hear from other LGBTQ plus friendly bars on the importance of having a space for everyone in the community. Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh was a little more crowded than usual today because of a petting zoo event. The Pittsburgh Public Library hosted the event as part of their Oceans of Possibilities summer reading program. It featured animals like kangaroos and alpacas and camels and iguanas.
Well, the children seem to like the animals, and most of what I use is, I use animals that's been used before, so they're used to it.
The event was free and open to the public. To see what other fun events are happening in the area, check out our website, koamnewsnow.com/events. A little bit later, how a new Missouri law expands the role of coaches in college athlete NIL deals.
Plus, the heat sticks around, but we do get some rain chances. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, another hot, humid day for us, and it's going to be sticking around for quite some time. It is summertime, but the heat indices, of course, have been up there. Nice shot. This is our Lander Chevrolet tower cam, southeast side of the city. You can see pretty much clear skies. We're looking at I-44 eastbound toward the 249 loop. All right, it's hot. Still, most of us across the region are sitting lower 90s, a little bit warmer. Yates Center checking in at about 95 degrees. And you can see we aren't alone. The entire Central Plains is hot, from Dallas to North Platte, all the way up to Sioux City, Iowa. Temperatures into the upper 80s to near 100 degrees across western Kansas. Then you factor in the humidity, heat indices, upper 90s on the Missouri side, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas. It all still feels like about 100 to 102 degrees, but we do have clear skies up top. 93, southerly winds light. Heat index at the airport at 99, humidity at 47%. We drop back through the 90s, 80s, eventually into the 70s as we go through the overnight hours. All right, nothing going on here, nothing on the radar, hardly even any clouds across the region. And you can see any thunderstorms, you have to travel down to our south, just dominated by this big dome of high pressure centered right on top of us. Until that breaks down, we don't see a whole bunch of changes. Let's go hour by hour. We're going to go through the overnight hours tonight. We'll stop in the morning. Sitting into the mid 70s to start the day. We heat up near 90 by the noon hour, into lower 90s again during the afternoon. But look at the difference here. We're getting some isolated thunderstorms, hit and miss storms popping up by mid to late afternoon. Here's your day planner: 73 to start, 90 by noon. High temp at 94 with those isolated hit and miss storms. And the ones that do pop up, they could be kind of on the strong side. They kind of work off toward the west, hit and miss through the evening hours. Here's 6:30, here's 8:30, pretty much gone. Any leftover ones definitely gone by 9 or 10. And then as we go into Sunday morning, we drop back into the low 70s once again. Now we're into Father's Day. Hot, humid, but a little bit cooler. High temps kind of in that 90 to 92 degree range as we head into Sunday afternoon. Heat indices are going to be up there, about 100 to 105 once again for us tomorrow afternoon. Heat indices again, upper 90s to near 100 by the time we head into Sunday afternoon. The heat sticks around. In fact, it gets even stronger next week. Mid 90s return by Monday. We can go into Tuesday, mid to upper 90s. Wednesday, mid to upper 90s, but a cold front tries to get in, so this will at least give us chances for some scattered showers and thunderstorms by the middle of next week. Isolated storms tomorrow evening. Father's Day hot, 93 on Monday, 96 on Tuesday, 96, 97 degrees as we stretch through most of next week. Gosh, let's do it. Let's go to next weekend. Continues to stick around.
It does. The lowest high in that group is 92.
Yeah, that kind of stinks.
Yes, it does. Thanks, Doug. Hey, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. If your signal of KOAM or Fox 14 gets kind of glitchy, we've been telling you, we assure you it is a sign of progress. We're going to be broadcasting from a lower temporary antenna while a crew installs a new, more technically advanced antenna at the top, very top of that 1,100-foot tower. It's the final step of our More Power project. It's going to allow some viewers who previously lost our signal to get us again. And if all goes according to plan, we're going to be back up and stronger than ever very soon. Missouri Governor Mike Parson signed legislation giving college coaches and university employees in Missouri a more active role in endorsement opportunities for their athletes. Under the new law, university employees may identify or otherwise assist with opportunities for a student athlete to earn compensation from a third party for the use of student athlete's name, image, and likeness, rights, or athletic reputation. That's a quote. The new law goes into effect on August 28th. Still ahead, Oklahoma opens up the College World Series against Texas A&M. And the Midwest Mustangs play Pittsburgh Post 64 in this weekend's tournament opener. Danny Terzer has the highlights up next.
Pitt State is hosting a baseball tournament. 2 local teams hit the field early this morning for their first game of the weekend. The Midwest Mustangs kick off the tournament against Pittsburgh Post 64. Fast start for the Mustangs. Wyatt Foley shoots it through the gap for an RBI single. 4-run score in the first. Later, Brett Sarwinski lays out to make the catch, prevents a base hit, and ends the inning. Mustangs extend their lead here. Eli Cheney drops one into shallow center. Logan Myers scores from second. It's 8-2. And then bases loaded for Cade Beshore. He gets a base hit. Foley scores. Cam Custer pitches a complete game and the Mustangs win 10-2. The Joplin Outlaws face the Nevada Griffins this evening. Joplin has struggled against Nevada this summer, falling in all 3 of their matchups so far. Tonight's game begins at 7 p.m. at Joe Becker Stadium, and we'll have the highlights at 10. Oklahoma plays their first game in Omaha for the College World Series today, facing Texas A&M. Sooners do damage in the second inning. Bases loaded for Blake Robertson. He singles to shallow center. 2-run score. Then Jimmy Crooks blasts a 3-run shot to right. Oklahoma up 8-0. A&M gets a few back in the bottom half. Jordan Thompson responds with his own 3-run shot, but the Oklahoma offense just dialed in today. 4th inning, it's a grand slam for Jackson Nicholas. Sooners win it 13-8. The St. Louis Cardinals lead the Central Division, up 2 games on the Brewers. This past week has been a solid week for the Cards. They've won 5 of their last 7. Now St. Louis begins a week-long road trip facing Boston tonight. This one just getting started. We'll have more at 10. That's a look at sports. We're back after this.
We take time now to honor a local veteran. Wayne Reeves served in the U.S. Army from 1942 to 1945. The Chanute, Kansas native was stationed in the Pacific and received a Purple Heart. And we salute Private First Class Wayne Reeves, a 4-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. President Biden says he's been briefed, but doesn't know what happened to 3 Americans who went missing while fighting the Russians in Ukraine. Also, more baby formula is being delivered to stores every day, but less than half of these deliveries include specialty formula. And the UK government approves Julian Assange's extradition to the US. Those stories tonight at 9, Fox 14. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, why not download the KOAM News app? Why not do it right now? You don't have a reason, I know. So go ahead. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. All you have to do is search for the KOAM News app. Okay, spoiler alert, it's going to be hot this weekend.
It is. Right back up into low to mid 90s over the next couple days. Heat indices right around 100 degrees. We are going to get a few isolated thunderstorms tomorrow evening, which, hey, we could use by now, and then mid to upper 90s most of next week.
Final sports note.
The Midwest Mustangs played a second game today. They tied with Oak Grove 6-6. They'll play another one tomorrow morning.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Be careful out there in this heat. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon service is provided